Howdy, Jed from Good Culture. So today we're making a really simple Mexican-inspired, fast and quick meal. Something that I hope that you could take some value from of making, after school for a snack or a quick dinner if you get home late. Easy to compose. Ingredients are easy to have in the house. Working today with Chef Luis, that we've done several other Mexican-inspired videos, and we have a special guest today who is Dr. Matthew Nagra, who is a doctor of naturopathic medicine here in Vancouver. He is a man that promotes a lot of eating plants and getting healthier through eating plants. And he doesn't cook a ton himself at home. He is data-driven, goes by the science, understands the theory and the science of what he's talking about intensively, but he just hasn't had as much time to learn the cooking in his life. So he was excited to come and cook with Chef Luis. Chef Luis is teaching him how to make these simple things. Today we're gonna make a wheat tortilla, we're gonna make guacamole and refried beans, and we're gonna have that all with some plant-based cheese. And what's really great here is just how incredibly simple and fast this all is. So I hope you enjoy this video.
We're gonna be doing today some flour tortillas. So flour tortillas are endemic from the north part of Mexico. We eat them a lot, and they are a really big part of our breakfast and lunch. So traditionally, the more traditional recipe for flour tortillas will be 1 kilo of flour and a quarter kilo of shortening. So that's the simplest, and that's what most of the households they do every morning. So most of the people that I know in the north, like before they go into work, they will make lunch or breakfast for the whole family, and they will do a kilo of tortillas. It's a lot of tortillas for us today, so we're gonna do actually only 2.5 cups. We're gonna do 1/3 cup of shortening, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, a pinch of salt, and almost a cup of hot water. That will give us around 10 tortillas. So it's pretty simple, and most of the ingredients most of the people will have them already at their pantry. Okay, so to start, let's put the flour. Then we're gonna mix it. I'm gonna put a pinch of salt to that. And then we're gonna add the shortening. So it's easier, the shortening is at room temperature. Then you're gonna start breaking it down. So it has to kind of like feel like the texture kind of like oats.
Okay.
So it's gonna start like kind of like a pie crust. I don't know if you're used to.
Yeah,
I've never done a pie before.
It's been a while, but.
So after we got the shortening integrated to this, we're gonna add the hot water. So the water needs to be hot in order for this to work. It can be as hot as you can handle it. Like, I would not recommend doing boiling water because you can burn your hands, but some like tough ladies in Mexico, they actually throw boiling water to it and they do it with hand. So you can always just work with it. So it kind of like feel like flaky. You gotta break down that shortening. So for this recipe, it's recommended you look for vegan shortening, because most of the margarine they sell is not shortening. It's not vegan. I discovered that.
Yeah, a little bit of like dairy related foods in there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that, and I discovered that I was reading. I'm now like a label freak now lately, and I just started looking into all the labels of the stuff that we were buying, and I was like, this is not vegan. Yeah. Interesting.
It's hidden everywhere.
Okay, so you can feel it. It's kind of like.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna add the water. So we have a cup of it. I'm not gonna add all of it. So we're gonna add a little bit. We're gonna start working with it. As you see, I didn't use the full cup, so it was kind of like half of the cup. So what we're gonna do now is you have to work the dough. You got to activate that gluten. So you kind of got the texture. It's firm and it's not sticky, but at the same time it's soft. So depending on who's making the tortillas, sometimes they will go softer, they will add more water, but you have to be very experienced doing this to be able to handle the dough when it's like really, really soft. Okay. So for like people that are making, like starting with this if the first time, like I recommend this as the best texture you can get. So we're gonna cut this into 10. So we're gonna make kind of like a sausage. Hi, so today we're gonna make some refried beans. It's a very simple recipe, a very traditional one. So we have our black beans. We're gonna have some garlic, jalapeno, and onion. We're gonna put some oil into the pan. We're gonna saute our vegetables, then we're gonna add onions, and then we're gonna start mashing them. So for the texture of the refried beans, it's up to your taste. You can add as much water or as less water as you want, depending on what you're gonna serve them. So if you're gonna make like burritos, for example, you want them to be kind of like stickier. Mm-hmm. If you're gonna serve them as a side dish, like probably you want them runnier. So you can throw some like crumbled vegan cheese or something on top of that. That's very nice.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Like if you put them in the fridge, they will actually get hotter and hotter. So the next day you just add a little bit more water, or you can add vegetable stock to it, and that works out really, really well. Okay, so to start, you have our pan that it's medium hot. Oh, here you go. So half of jalapeno. Same, that's up to your taste. If you want it to be hotter, you can always add more jalapeno to it. So medium heat, you don't want it to be super hot because the problem is the jalapeno is going to start smoking out and it's going to get difficult to eat. So we need to just cook them till soft so they're easier to mash, because we're actually going to mash them by hand. If you can blend them, the problem is if you don't have a really good quality blender or like a big engine blender, you can burn them out. It happened to me a lot of times in Mexico, and my mom got very upset with me. So a RoboCoupe can manage this properly. Something that has the engine as big as a RoboCoupe can, or Vitamix, they work perfect with this. Okay, so this is a little bit almost transparent. So we're gonna still be cooking it out, but we're gonna add the beans to it. So the beans will help with the steam. So we want to soften the veggies. It's very important that it has to be in medium heat. If it's too high, it will start burning. You don't want that. You want them to like slowly cook. So you don't need to even move it. We can leave it there. So you just want that steam to start like softening all the veggies, and then we're gonna start smashing them after that.
How long do you leave it? How long do you leave it?
Probably like 5-10 minutes.
Okay. I
just want to like that steam to get inside the veggies and like lose them down, so it's easier to mash them. If you're gonna put it in the blender, you can do it right away.
Okay.
Hey, so we're gonna make some guac today. It's a very simple and traditional recipe. Pretty much avocado, very small amount of tomato, onions, and serrano. So this is very important when making guac. People like to use jalapenos for guac. Jalapenos, they don't have taste if you eat them raw. Jalapenos are better if you cook with them. If you roast them or if you grill them, they develop a lot of flavors. But when they're raw, they just like a spicy bell pepper, so there's not a lot of flavor in it. Serranos, they have tons of flavor. Like they're more floral, they're a little bit of acid. So this is the best pepper you making like raw salsas.
Yeah. I love serrano peppers, so it works.
And they're becoming very common here in Canada. So most of the main grocery shops, they carry them now. Okay, so we're gonna add half a lime. You don't need a lot of lime juice for this. If you add too much lime, you're actually gonna kill all the nice flavor in the avocado. So once we add the lime, some salt. So be generous with the salt because you're actually adding a lot of tomatoes and other vegetables to it, so the salt level will be down. Fresh pepper. Then we're gonna start smashing them. So you don't need a lot of liquid. There you go. We're just gonna add all our nice vegetables. There you go. So if you want to use it a day, like for the next day, the easiest way, and the way we discovered in restaurants, because we had to do it ahead of time and then it started turning black, you know? So if you put it in a 1 liter container and you let like an inch on the top without wok, you add water to it and you put it in the fridge, the water will create a seal so air will not come in and the wok will not turn to brown. The next morning, just drop the water out, mix it back, and that's it.
Cool.
So our beans are, vegetables are almost up. You see this is like breaking apart, so that will make it easier for grinding. So pretty much you're gonna grab this, and what I like to do is just press it like this. So you put your hand like this, like a fist, and then with this, you help it. Okay. So you're gonna start breaking it down, try to integrate everything. After, it's pretty much, like this kind of rustic, so you don't want it to be like fully like blended. So you just want like to break down a little bit and integrate the garlic and the jalapeno. Then we're gonna add some water, salt and pepper, and we're gonna let it probably boil for 5 minutes until all the flavors they blend together. As you see, like it's getting dry, so most of the water already evaporated. So that's where we're gonna add a little bit more water, and that's where like you decide how much water do you want in your beans. Just gonna add a little bit more water. So we never like actually increase the heat, so it doesn't stick as much as you will think. Promise, if you are working with like high flame, it will actually burn and so I'm just gonna add salt and pepper. A lot of people go crazy with seasoning and cumin and like no, like just keep it simple. Like we're adding all the flavors from the jalapeno and from the garlic. So our beans are done. So this is a texture that I personally like. They're easier for spread. They don't, if you put them in the fridge, they don't go really, really hard. The next day they refried easier as well. Next morning you can add a little bit more water. You can add some vegetable stock. Ready to go. Okay. So you can put them in the fridge. It will last you for probably a week and a half. Okay, so we got this one. What I will do is I will just give it a shape. A round shape. There you go.
Okay,
Sure.
I guess I'm trying. Definitely that.
So it's easier if you're working with the hand to do this form, and then you just, it's kind of like making a pizza.
Sort of round.
I think it looks great, man.
Perfect.
Hard to tell from the chef.
Yeah. Is that like flat enough, or?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. Cool.
So, you can do is
Yeah, fix it up.
a little bit. That's okay. But you know, that's the beauty of a gluten. Like the gluten will help you with this. So, yeah, flip it. You want to see those nice spots? So that means it's so we got flour tortillas, we got some guac, we got some beans. Let's make some tacos now.
Sounds good.
So, got a plate. Got a freshly made flour tortilla. You're gonna put like a very nice spread of frijoles on top, so that's the beans in Spanish.
Okay. Now is that pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll put like 1 or 2 scoops of it.
Okay. I'm gonna do a little more.
In Mexico, there's a saying that say taco that folds is not a taco.
That's how I make them.
Yes. So put some guac on top and gonna crumble some cheese. There you go. Very good snack.
Yeah.
So if you roll the beans on the tortilla, we call that a burrito, and that's a very traditional food of the north. So people just put 2 or 3 packs in aluminum and like we'll put it in a backpack, and you can eat them at the end of the day.
Okay, cool.
I don't know like the energy and protein content of it. Like probably you can tell me more about that, but I say like that's pretty much a basic Mexican meal.
Okay, and then how much of this am I taking?
So just probably whatever you can take with your fingers, crumble it on top.
Oh, whoops, I don't want all of that.
Perfect. So the best way to eat a taco, you're gonna grab it like this. You go
Oh, I'm
inside.
eating it? Am I eating it right
Of
now?
course.
Just like this?
Yeah.
That was really good.
Well, you made the tortillas
No,
yourself, so.
I didn't make this one.
Okay, so that was pretty awesome. Food was spectacular. So thank you, Chef Luis.
Thank you for having me again.
And Dr. Negra, thank you for being here. Hope you learned something.
Thanks for feeding me.
For sure. It's great. So super simple. As we were saying before, you know, Dr. Negra hadn't made this before. He did a great job helping out. What do you think? You're gonna make this at home?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it was easy. It was a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be.
Awesome. That's great. So any questions? Please throw them below. Thank you.